introducing my beautiful wife, Karen. And you can see she's a beautiful. Look at that face.
Oh, please.
Yeah, she's gonna make eggplant parmesan, Napolitan style. You're gonna love it because everybody loves it. Okay, go ahead, sweetheart.
Okay, here's the eggplant. I already peeled one. Take all the skin off. And when I slice it paper thin, that you could almost see through it. And it takes a little time, but it's worth it when you cook them for the family that you love and they enjoy it. Sometimes you'll get a half a slice, but it should all be thinly sliced. And it takes.
Karen, can you use a mandolin to cut it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably could. I have a slicer home, but I feel you got to do it by hand.
Okay.
The old-fashioned way.
So it doesn't get seeded.
No. This is, and then what I do is when I got a few slices done, I put them in the flour so that the more air is added, it can turn brown. So I just coat them right away.
Any salt and pepper in the flour?
No. The salt and pepper will go into the eggs when I'm ready to dip.
Okay. Can I do this?
Sure. You could do that.
We have Pat and we have Betty as our sous chefs. Let's see if we can get a picture of that.
Hello. I'm not Italian either.
So,
But I'm a good cook.
Right.
And I'm learning how to do eggplant
excellent
parmesan.
An excellent cook. So I just do it so I could see the knife, practically the shadow of the knife.
He's gonna be tired, so what they do is
And
they give a whole
everybody makes it different.
and they send a lot of girls up there with it.
let me see if I
So they do
Are you still rolling or no?
the store.
Now I have all my eggplant floured, and I'm going to take. I start off with 4 eggs. I can take off my safety glove. 4 eggs, and to the egg water, to the egg, I add a little bit of water.
How much water?
I'll show you just a little bit of water. You want to give me just a little bit of water? Good. Thank you very much. This is just about,
sous chef Pat.
let's see. That's about maybe a quarter of a cup of water. And I need a fork for beating, and my salt and pepper. So I beat up the egg. You can see me beating up the egg.
Pepper.
Pepper's on the table? Pepper's over.
And I just use a little bit of salt. I'm not a big salt. A couple of pinches of salt.
Good way. Turn it upside down. Get it upside down.
And then a little pepper. That's enough. And now we have, I need one more bowl. If you have a bowl. And then I dip.
How big of a bowl would you like?
Like this. Well, actually, I could use this bowl again.
No, I have.
Because now I'm going to take the egg, and I put it in another bowl, and then I start to fry.
How's this?
Let me, lay it there. Big bowl. Okay, so then I take the eggplant, coat the egg, and I put it in a bowl. So that they're all coated. I generally start off with 4 eggs, but by the time I'm done, I could usually go through eight eggs. Very good. See, that's the eggs being coated, the eggplant being coated. Okay.
We might have to watch the mozzarella over there. It seems to be disappearing.
Now, is it hot? Let's see. To test it, I'll take a little piece of eggplant and see if it's hot. It could be a little bit hotter. When you see the,
Now, what kind of oil do you have in there?
I only use Wesson pure vegetable oil because the olive oil gives it another taste.
Right.
And you really want to appreciate the taste of the eggplant. So I try that's the way my mother-in-law taught me. And she was right from Sicily, from Italy,
No,
from
from Salerno.
Salerno. My grandmother was Sicilian. I'm half Italian, even though he says I'm not. I am half. Okay, so now I take the eggplant and I start to fry it.
Yeah, something like that. I have a platter. You want a platter now?
How is this? Can I dump this?
Are you done with the
or-
flour?
And
Are you done
Well,
with the
I'm done
flour?
with the flour, yes.
you want me to dump it here?
Yes.
And then I guess we can use that bowl again to layer it.
Well,
Or
yeah,
you
we
want a
could
flatter
do.
platter?
This would be the
I
ideal
have a
bowl.
platter. I have a platter.
A flat, I generally, I drain them on the paper towels.
You want like
After
something like that?
Yeah, that's perfect.
I'll give you paper towel.
Want paper towels on here?
Yep,
We got
that's
it.
fine.
Good night.
The frying oil is at what temperature you usually keep it?
50?
At 250, 300. I adjust it to weigh the eggplant goes.
It's at 300 now.
It's at 300,
Yeah.
that's good. And I need a fork. Do we have any garden?
I'm gonna try.
Let's see how it's frying. And I look on one side. I don't make them be real brown. Just nice and know that the egg is cooked on there.
Diane, where did you get this beautiful painting you have on the wall here?
And we have an original artwork by Vincenzo Liguri, straight from Salerno.
Available on our website.
Available on his website. That's right.
Okay, so this
So
one.
now the eggplants are about golden brown.
Right. And then I check them to see. I like them a little bit browner. Now you could see I used up almost all the 4 eggs and I'm not quite done. But what I do is I drain the eggs from the other bowl because it'll be enough. Now this should be, these are nice and done.
I'm draining on paper towels.
I'm draining them all on paper towels. And you just go by layer by layer.
Watch this. Okay. I'm gonna
Good.
stop
Yeah.
because now
Hi. Now what I've done is I've drained all the eggplant that's been fried on paper towels to take any additional grease. I pre-made my sauce. All I do is, I don't put any meat in it. I open up a big can of tomatoes, your preference, and I put it through the blender and then through the
Food mill.
food mill to get all the seeds out. I take a little oil, about 4 to 5 slices of garlic, saute it, and then I put my sauce in with a lot of basil. And everybody can make it whichever sauce they like. And that's the consistency of the sauce before I'm going to add a little bit of water to make the sauce a little thinner. Not so thin, but it just gets to be looking a little smooth. And then I line the pan, and if you don't like the basil, you can always take the basil out. And when you come across garlic, I do take the garlic out, the garlic pieces that I've made in the sauce. Now I'm going to layer, this is the way the sauce is in the pan. Now I'm going to layer my eggplant any which way it fits. And then I make sure I get the whole pan covered. And if you have little pieces, you could put it on the side. And then I take my sauce and spread it around. And I do pull out some of the basil, because some people don't like the taste of the basil. And every time I run out of sauce, I put it in a little pot with a little bit of water. Now I take my mozzarella that I have chopped up
Cubes.
in cube little pieces. If you prefer, you can make slices, whichever way, but this is the way I do it. So I just put it all around. And this will be your first layer of your eggplant parmesan. You kind of look and say, oh, I could put a little piece here, I could put a little piece there. And then I take the salt, not a lot, and then I do some pepper. Whoop. I'll pretend because I can't do it, my hands are too greasy.
Yes, no, we made
It's
it.
really greasy. Okay. Oh, good, Pat. Thank you. See, I just make it a little bit thinner. Okay.
Okay, here we go.
We're adding a little bit of pepper. Good.
Parmesan cheese.
And now, good thing you said it. And now this is a little bit of Italian grated cheese. I use Locatelli. And it just gives it, not a lot, just I sprinkle it around till I see it. And it looks like it'll be flavorful.
Get that on video, huh?
Right.
You see what you did there?
He's eating all the little pieces. Okay, we'll be ready for the next layer. I think it's just a little thick, so I'm just going to add a little bit. You kind of go by eye, but you don't want it to be real thick. You know, it's just, you're making the layers. And you want to, you know, make sure that each layer is covered with eggplant. Okay, now I'm going to
And
put
it's so
some.
thin that it's, you can lay them on top of each other.
Right, right. They feel nice. Oh, you got the water there, good. Now I'm going to add my watered down sauce, but it doesn't have to be watered down a lot. You just don't want it as thick as, and like I say, I take out the basil and the garlic.
Yeah, we don't want the garlic with the basil.
The basil's okay to keep in? Okay.
We don't like the garlic. No.
No, the garlic, I know, a lot of people don't like to get garlic.
A lot of sauce you use.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's hope it's not too. Okay. Could do a little pepper on top. Oh, I forgot the mozzarella. But see, it makes, one eggplant makes a nice pan. A good size eggplant.
right.
I mean, if they're little, you know, then you need two. But that was a large eggplant. And I don't, a lot of people drain the eggplant overnight. And all. I never had problems. I never do that. Some people say, oh, you have to get the juice out of it.
Right.
I never do that.
You
My
say-
mother-in-law never did it.
All the times we've had it, it's never been bitter.
Never,
They say,
right?
they say take that water out of the
Yeah.
bitter, but I never found that to be truthful either.
No, we never had a problem.
Wait, more?
Just a little bit. If I see it needs a little bit of more sauce. Okay, see down here, it could use a little sauce. Okay, we're getting there. Now, my eggplant is ready to be popped in the oven, 350 degrees, anywhere between 45 minutes to an hour. You can see when it starts to bubble. And bon appetit.
Oh, mangia, mangia.
That would have been perfect.
Oh, that would have been horrible.
This is what the eggplant looks like when it's done. Let me get it
Collect
ready.
all the plates.
Wow.
Maybe a
Yeah,
little
Betty.
too much sauce.
Yeah, but-
No, Betty, that's yours.
Take and give me a plate.
You know, maybe it's a little really fresh. You know,
Yeah.
when you know
If it
it's a
sits
little
overnight,
different.
if it sits overnight,
a little
it's
different, Patty.
it's a little bit.
Well, here's our crew, our sous chefs, Pat and Bat. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you for the invite here and sharing all this.
And Mama Chirino.
This is the
Thank
best
you.
eggplant parmesan.
Oh boy.
Mm-mm.
Got it.